doing, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Madden NFL 26 Indianapolis Colts franchise. You want to know what happened last episode? It will be in the, also I don't really promote this, but it will be in the playlist where the entire Colts franchise will be. But last episode we had the trade deadline and the game against the Titans, our second of the season, and our revenge game where we ended up barely getting by Tennessee. Cam Ward and Daniel Jones had a shootout where they combined for over 800 yards throwing. And Jonathan Taylor had a great game as well, over 100 yards. Tony Pollard played absolutely terrible, running in the negatives, which how often do you see that in the NFL? But it was basically all for receivers. I know DK did have that big game in that game against us, against Darius Ward. We also had the trade line, as I mentioned, where Alec Pierce was moved to the Carolina Panthers to get themselves a bit of receiver, an extra hand and receiver. By the way, he got his first touchdown with them. I didn't know we didn't actually have a touchdown with him at all, with him playing. And Grover Stewart, we sent him to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for Kalijah Kancey and a future second-round pick. Kalijah Kancey actually did not play a lot prior to him being traded to us, so hopefully he'll be able to take advantage of being on a new team and getting a lot more playing time. After the bye week, or after the trade deadline, not bye week, we're going to match up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have been god-awful this year offensively. Aaron Rodgers ended up losing to his former squad in the Green Bay Packers 20-14, where it wasn't a clean game for either him or Jordan Love. It was actually pretty bad for both squads. Aaron Rodgers has looked pretty ugly this year. The Packers have looked a lot better, but they're not playing that much better. But they looked a lot cleaner. Patrick Queen had a solid game with the most touchdowns in the game with Cole Holcomb. In the end, the Steelers did end up winning. Remember, they started the year 0-5, I believe. And now they're 2-5, which is not that much better. Aaron Rodgers, as we mentioned, he's played probably his worst season he's ever played in his career. He's thrown that many interceptions. He's thrown an interception in the last 3 games. Outside of that, this team has some star-studded talent with DK Metcalf, TJ Watt, of course, Cole Holcomb. They've got a star-studded roster on this one. Even Jalen Warren, who I think is pretty underrated. But the biggest problem with the Steelers just comes from the fact that future-wise, we don't know how they're going to be with all these big names and these big contracts. We don't necessarily know how good this team will be a year or two in the future. Jalen Ramsey does not have an interception yet as a Pittsburgh Steeler. He's still looking for his first. This team defensively is truly stagnant. Offensively has been a struggle. They're the worst offensive team in the entire league. They don't really have a great pass game. They're in the bottom 5. Running isn't really a huge issue for them, but it's not that much better. And plus, they're the worst scoring team in the league. At one point, for the first 4 games, they had a total of 22 points in the entire NFL. Defensively, though, they're one of the better defensive teams in the league. They play well against the pass game. They're not bad in the ground game, and they lead the league in sacks this year. Daniel Jones is making his second start this year. He played pretty well against the Titans, as we already mentioned. 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. He didn't have the 1 interception. But I mean, we could just write that off as just being a pretty bad throw. The receivers are something we haven't really addressed this season, but I think this has been a fun receiving core. Josh Downs has been my personal favorite of the group of guys that we've had with Pittman and Adonai Mitchell, who's now getting a lot more playing time with Australia, Alec Pierce. Tyler Warren has been a lot of fun. Molly Cox has been fun as well. Him getting a lot more playing time and him getting to prove what he's really worth has been a joy. I will say it's been a fun year with the Colts despite all the losses that have kind of came our way. We are at the halfway point of this year, and Jonathan Taylor kind of wants to have a conversation about what the team needs. And in reality, we need wins. I don't really think stat padding is really something that we need to do. I think Jonathan Taylor is having probably the best player on this team so far. But he does want a goal, something to complete, so we are going to give him one. We're going to focus on him getting rushing yards at the end of the year, maybe leading the league in rushing yards. He already does at this point. And he wants 1,600, which, believe it or not, is not a lot. He has 800 to this point of the season, halfway through, so as long as he can stay healthy and stay on the field and not have too many bad games like he did at the start of the year, he can complete that goal with essentially no real issue. As I said, 800 yards. He's got 6 touchdowns already, which he's halfway through. I already showed this a lot. Maybe let me know in the comments below if you guys want me to show this more. We are going to get the Dr. Dots upgrade, or upgrade, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. Skill. As we make our way to, I'm not even going to try to sound it out. But to Pittsburgh to take on the terrible Pittsburgh Steelers. Coming to this game with a 2-6 record. I said 2-5, they're actually 2-6. As we come to this one 2-5 after our first win since week 2. As we're underway for week number 9 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, this will be returned to the 25-yard line. And that's no longer touchback numbers because it's now at the 35. Looking at Aaron Rodgers, he's been awful. 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He hasn't looked this sad since playing in New York, where he essentially hated it there. Rodgers will throw on the first play of the game, and it's thrown to DK Metcalf on the left side. 73 yards in the the loss over the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers has to run away. He'll have to throw it away with pressure on him. And a 3-and-out for the Pittsburgh Steelers on their first drive. It's basically the best offense, or the worst offense, in the Steelers against the worst defense from the Colts. Jonathan Taylor will get a 17-yard gain for a first down. Daniel Jones making his second start. He'll kick it to Taylor, who's wide open, has nothing but room. He gets rocked. How often does that happen? Every game. But he'll hold on to the football. He's done a great job at not fumbling the football like he did in the first half of the season. Throw it to the right side. That is incomplete. It would have been a crazy catch if he was able to make it. 2nd and 10, handoff to Taylor right up the gut for another first down. He's been able to get a lot of better plays at this stage of the season. He has to break off a first tackle, can't the second, as it's a short gain. It's now 3rd and 6 with a Colts shaking up on the field. 3rd and 6 now for Jones, trying to buy time, and it is intercepted. Jalen Ramsey jumps the route on Adonai Mitchell, who is also making his second start at receiver of the season. I think that's just a bang play, and Jalen Ramsey just does a good job at jumping that route. And he gets his first interception of the season. We just talked about how he didn't have one coming into this game. Now Jaylen Warren right up the middle, left side, nice 9-yard gain, 9-yard pickup I should say, giving it back to him. He will manage to get the first down after bumping into his own teammate. And we're rapid fire with these drives. 1st and 10, Rodgers to throw, trying to run with it, and he won't. Instead, he'll find his target on the right side for a first down. As Rodgers will throw it again, left side, nice running room for DK Metcalf on the comeback route for another first down. Pittsburgh trying to put 6 on the board for a splash and fake by Rodgers. Wide open is Metcalf again, as he'll move the chains to get to the 41-yard line. After another first down, Pittsburgh 2nd and 5. Up the middle is Metcalf again, as he's down inside the 5-yard line. And the Colts just not been able to keep him covered. 1st and goal, fakes the jet sweep, handoff to Warren. He is not in the end zone. They rule him at the 1. So 2nd and goal now for the Colts. Colts have been doing a better job at getting stops, and they'll do it again. They again don't rule him in the end zone at 3rd and goal. So Rodgers says, forget it, I'll take it myself. And the Pittsburgh Steelers will fire first with 6 from Aaron Rodgers, who sneaks it into the end zone. It's now 7-0 in favor of Pittsburgh. Nice throw by Jones to the left side of the field for first down as they find themselves in Pittsburgh territory. Pressure coming, and they'll try to find Jonathan Taylor. Taylor and Jones not on the same page as that pass is incomplete. 3rd and 12. Nice throw up the middle. That's caught for a first down. Is Tyler Warren, who's been big. I'd be shocked if he, would I be shocked? I hope he wins Rookie of the Year this year. That's a nice tight throw by Daniel Jones, to Josh Downs, as the Colts are inside the 5. You don't want to turn over again like you did on the last drive, Daniel. There's a flag on the play, free play for the Colts, and it's in the end zone for Adonai Mitchell. As the Colts look to tie this game up, they do so. That's Mitchell's first touchdown of the season. And you wonder what happened. It was offsides on the Steelers. Ramsey was behind Adonai Mitchell the entire time. I don't know why he was there, which left Adonai Mitchell wide open in the first place. It's like if Ramsey isn't behind him. It's probably tight coverage in a bang-bang play. So that call, unfortunately, puts Pittsburgh, or allows the Colts to tie this game up. Nice run by Jaylen Warren for pretty much 10 yards. I would have given it to him. Nice spin move, though. Rodgers to throw, right side. That's complete. To a first down to DJ Chark. It's now 3rd and 11 for Rodgers, trying to buy some time, and he is hit as he throws. It's incomplete, forcing the Pittsburgh Steelers to have to punt this ball away. The goal, and as I mentioned, the Colts' terrible defense versus Pittsburgh's terrible offense. That's basically what this game is really coming down to. And it's coming to effect right now. Sorry. 1st and 10 inside the 10. Hand off to Taylor. He'll go nowhere. 2nd and 11. Throws it to the right side. Caught by Warren. Shakes off a lot of defenders playing pinball. And he'll be taken down at the 20. And a nice first down for Tyler Warren. And if you're wondering why we like him so much, because he's able to make plays like this. The Steelers just playing pinball with the guy. And the Colts will stay on the field. Offense will stay on the field. Wide open up the middle is Josh Downs. Tries to follow the blocker. But Downs enough speed to beat out the linebackers yet again. Just a nice throw by Daniel Jones. A really good spiral. Got a really good route inside by Josh Downs. In Pittsburgh territory, play fake for Jones. Up the middle, incomplete, almost picked off. Risky throw to throw it on the run. It's now 3rd and 2 as they hand off to DJ Giddens, and he'll get the first down and a little bit more. Trying to get DJ Giddens a little bit more involved in this offense in the later stages of the year, with obviously still us having Jonathan Taylor being the go-to guy. Jones tries to throw into the end zone, and it is intercepted again by Jalen Ramsey, his 2nd of the game. What did I just say? He came in with none, and he's already got 2. And I don't want to blame Jones on that one, because that's not his fault. Tyler Warren just never jumped for the football. I don't know why. The ball's not really overthrown. Warren can make a play on it. Instead, he just opts not to. And if you ask me, I think he beats Jalen Ramsey one-on-one there. Instead, Pittsburgh get the ball back. It's 3rd and 12. Deep throw to the right side. That is caught. On the way down is DJ Chark, who beat Travarius Ward in a foot race. As Pittsburgh is inside Colts territory, Rodgers will run with it. Not often you see him do that. And he'll manage to get 9. The old man's still got some leg power in him. Jaylen Warren manages to barely edge out the first down as the Steelers keep their drive going. 3rd and 9, Rodgers to throw, overthrows, and it's intercepted by by Jalen Jones. He actually has not had an interception since the preseason, where he had 3. And the Colts force a turnover and get the ball right back. Now that throw, Rodgers just simply overthrew his target. That's a wide open man underneath, and he just missed him. Not much really to say about that. And that's basically about what Pittsburgh's season has been, as the Colts do go 3 and out off the pressure by TJ Watt. And the Colts will have to punt this ball away. It's decent running room, nice juke move, and he'll get to about the 45-yard line as we reach the 2-minute warning between Pittsburgh and Indianapolis. Aaron Rodgers to throw on 2nd and 4, and he is taken down by Kalijah Kancey, the newly acquired Colt. Pittsburgh calls a timeout. It's now 3rd and 10. They'll check it down to Warren, trying to make a play, and instead they lose 2. The Colts will use their timeout. Nothing for Pittsburgh. Jones to throw. He'll find his target. Nice job by by Jonathan Taylor to shake off the defender for a first down. He'll go back to him. And what a crazy blocking by Quentin Nelson. Taylor goes out of bounds trying to keep the drive alive and allow him to get points on the board. Nice throw on the right side to Mitchell. Colts still with a little bit more time. Jones to throw, right side, and that's intercepted again to Jaylen Warren. The third of the day for Jones and the third of the day to Warren. And on that throw, the game switched me to the receiver, so he turned around way earlier than he should have. I don't know why the game did that. Madden being Madden, I guess. But we go into halftime tied at 7. Realistically, I think we should be up. The defense has kind of kept us in this ball game because we turned the ball over entirely way too much. It doesn't make sense. But we'll reach the halftime report. First game, Miami takes on Baltimore. Baltimore realistically should win this game because Miami just sucks. They toss it to Derrick Henry, a nice spin move and untouched as he makes his way into the end zone. And the Ravens win 31-23. The Ravens are on fire, as they should be because they're the Ravens. Next, the Carolina Panthers will visit Lambeau Field and play against Jordan Love and the Packers. And we got ourselves a snow game here, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Jacobs shakes off the tackle, and he goes into the end zone. And at halftime, the Packers lead 17-10. A fun, cold game. I guess Josh Jacobs doesn't care about sleeves because he doesn't freeze. Because why? Because he's, well, never mind. Atlanta now will visit the New England Patriots. I forget what stadium they play in because I'm slow. As Drake May finds his target, Ramondre Stevenson. Nice juke move, makes his way into the end zone, and the Patriots currently lead 14-7 over the Falcons. Other games, the Chargers are currently leading 15-0 on Tennessee, and Houston has a pretty good lead over the Denver Broncos. First half, it's been basically all defense, but primarily turnover city. Daniel Jones has 3 interceptions. All of them went to Jalen Ramsey. Aaron Rodgers has 1, and it's went to Jalen Jones, who was apparently a moonwalker. I don't know how in the world he did that. He's not a descendant of Michael Jackson. But hopefully we get to see a little bit more offense on this field. As I mentioned, it's the worst offense versus the worst defense. So this type of thing was bound to happen here in Pittsburgh. As the Colts will receive the ball in the second half to start off. And Gould, nice juke move, which will get him to the 30-yard line. We'll see what the Colts can do. Jones to throw on 1st and 10. The left side finds Tyler Warren for a nice gain as they're already near Pittsburgh territory. 2nd and 10. They give this one to Taylor. He's rocked again, but he'll get 7. And then almost intercepted by Joey Porter. A risky throw there by Daniel Jones, and the Colts are going to go for it on 4th and 3. Seemingly, they will call it. Jones to throw. He finds Josh Downs with enough for the first down underneath. And now Indianapolis playing a little bit of hurry up, keeping Pittsburgh on their toes, and a quick throw on the left side for Michael Pittman for a first down. We don't really call his name a lot because he doesn't tend to get the ball a lot. Maybe he doesn't need it because the rest of the guys are doing work. Jonathan Taylor, not really much on that run, only 1 yard. As it's now 2nd and 9. We're a little bit into the third quarter. Now he bounces out on the outside. Nice juke move, and could have went into the end zone, but the juke move stopped his momentum for the time being. But now it's 3rd and 7, trying to get into the end zone. Incomplete. Missed his target, and at the end of the day, the Colts will have to kick a field goal. It's a short one, and it's good, and they finally take the lead after a full half of football. Now for the Steelers, Jaylen Warren, amazing running room, great blocking. He gets to the 34-yard line as no one was anywhere near him. Gets the ball right back on 2nd down. He'll get a shortened pickup. It's now 3rd and 4. Rodgers to throw. Quick throw to DK Metcalf for a first down. As the Steelers keep this drive alive, bounces out to Warren again as he'll break away for a 9-yard pickup. Down at the 11, 2nd and 1, back to Warren. This time he's stuffed for a loss of 2. And it's Kalijah Cansey who's there to make the play. 3rd and 2 on the run is Rodgers, finds Roman Wilson, who says, "Get off me," and is in the end zone. Pittsburgh will get the lead right back. A crazy play. Roman Wilson tells Mekhi Blackman, "Get off of me." He also did a juke move, but he would have been in the end zone anyways. But put one of our guys on skates. That's not what we need to see. But now we're trailing by 4, and as Taylor tries to bounce it out, it's no good. The defense was ready. So now 2nd and 15. We got to clean this up. Screenplay for Jonathan Taylor. He'll get 11 of those yards. We've been pretty good at these screenplays. Wide open up the middle is Josh Downs. He rounds the field. He's going to go into the end zone completely untouched, beating out the defense. We don't have big plays like that often for long yardage. This, I think, is like the 2nd or 3rd time Josh Downs has done it in this game, and we take the lead right back just like that. This is the most offenses we've seen in this game, as that pass is almost intercepted. The Steelers catch a break and a quick throw underneath for Metcalf, and this time the defense is ready for him. It's now 3rd and 12, a half-back screen for Jaylen Warren, as it's too much running room. He did lose the football in the hit, but that ball jarred all the way on the sideline. Then following up Jaylen Warren, he'll go right up the gut, past midfield for another first down. The Colts haven't really been able to stop Jaylen Warren. It's been kind of tough. And as soon as I say that, they do get a stop on him on the very next play, but he's still doing mostly whatever he wants against us. Quick throw, that's incomplete, a little bit early. And it's a 4th and 7. Pittsburgh has to punt the ball away. Colts with the ball back as Taylor has nowhere to go. The defense once again keeps him in check. 3rd and 11 now for Daniel Jones. Throws out the left side. It's intercepted for the 4th time today. And it's Darius Slay, the former Eagle. And that time pressure was just in Daniel Jones' face. Made a bad decision. And the Steelers get the ball back. And in great field position, by the way. Down by 3, could take the lead in this game. As he finds his target wide open. That's DJ Chark again. He's made some pretty solid plays. Warren up the middle. He'll get the first down. As Pittsburgh looks to put up 7. Well, really 6 or 7, but either way, Rodgers to throw. He loses the football. It's scooped up by Neville Gallimore. Keep it moving, big fella. You trained for this your whole life. 20, 15, 10, and he loses ground, but he's in the end zone anyways. And we can't call it a pick 6. But either way, a defensive touchdown for the Colts defense caused by Kalijah Cansey. Rodgers tried to get rid of it. Gallimore all the way from about the 10-yard line, by the way, runs into the end zone. And just like that, the pace of this game has changed. And that ended the 3rd quarter. Colts up by 10. On a crazy pickup 6-up. That's what I'm going to call it now. That sounds stupid, I know. But either way, a defensive touchdown. Kalijah Cansey has been big in this game. He's made some key plays in just his 2nd game playing as an Indianapolis Colt. It's crazy what being on a new team can do for your career sometimes. Steelers back on the field. Jaylen Warren does not care about that defensive touchdown. He's going to keep it pushing on offense. And gets to midfield just about. Steelers do trail by 10. It's not a big deficit. And wide open on the right side is a first down for DJ Chark, who's been big in this game as well. We just haven't been able to really cover him or DK. 2nd and 10. And no Donkey Kong, by the way. Throws to the right side. That's complete again to DJ Chark. Oh, that's not DJ Chark. That's number 19. Sorry. I can't see, I don't have glasses. But 2nd and 10 up the middle, underthrown. That's likely a touchdown if Rodgers makes that throw. One of the few mistakes he's made all game. Screenplay for Jaylen Warren, and it works to perfection the same way it did earlier. As the Steelers move the chains, they want to get themselves back in this ball game. Rodgers to throw. He is taken down the 3rd time today. It's Kalijah Kancey who makes another big play. He's got 2 sacks, a tackle for a loss, and a forced fumble. Those are the right side. That's intercepted. Travarius Ward. He's looking to go all the way. Can we get another defensive touchdown? At the 20, he's caught by DJ Chark, doing his best impression of DK Metcalf. But another interception thrown by Rodgers in the end zone this time. Overthrows his target straight to Travarius Ward. And the Colts back on offense. Up by 10. Gives it to Jonathan Taylor, who reaches inside the 10. The Steelers have been struggling. The turnovers have hurt them, but the offense has easily kept them out of this game as Jonathan Taylor untouched as he reaches the end zone for touchdown number 7 on the year. On the ground, by the way. And the Colts build on this lead. It's now 31-14. Steelers with the ball. Now Aaron Rodgers is sacked for a loss of 6. And it's looking even worse for this Steelers offense. They do nothing the rest of the way through. More time passes for the Colts as it's an incomplete throw. There was pressure in his face by Benton. And the Colts will have to punt this ball away with about 5 minutes left to go, and a pretty decent punt as it lands inside the 5 at the 3-yard line. Not great positioning for the Steelers. They gotta do what they gotta do. A bunch of time has passed as they don't do much with the ball, but it's 4th and 4. Last chance for them to take this ball game. Rodgers trying to throw. He's gonna go deep in the end zone. It is incomplete for Metcalf as we reach the 2-minute warning, but this game ends in that fashion. The Pittsburgh Steelers opted not to use any timeouts the rest of the way through, and they lose 31-14. As the Pittsburgh Steelers will fall, and I believe if I correct me if I'm wrong, 2-7, and the Colts will win their 2nd straight game of the season, and now they're 3-6. That a bye week, I'm stupid. They're 2-6 now. Anyways, Rodgers and Jones, neither of them really looked all that clean in this game. I mean, a total of 6 interceptions thrown in this one. 4 of them by Jones. Rodgers did have the 1 fumble. Jaylen Warren and Jonathan Taylor did do battle. DJ Chark was amazing. Metcalf didn't do much in the second half of the game. He was a big commodity in the first half. Josh Downs had an amazing game. He had over 100 yards in the air, which you love to see for the guy. I did mention he's my favorite guy. Adonai Mitchell, nice job in his 2nd outing this year. Or 2nd start. He played really well. Kalijah Kancey was our best defensive player with 2 sacks, a few tackles for a loss, and a forced fumble that he did end up having in this game. Neville Gallimore did return it into the end zone. Not often we call his name, but nonetheless, both of them had a really good game, especially Kalijah Kancey. Nice to see him stepping into his own in Indianapolis. Well, let's look at the weekly recap. We already know what happened in this one, as the Steelers would lose. Nice throw to Josh Downs right up the middle and just outran the rest of the defense. Got into the 2nd level and didn't stop there. And the Colts win 31-14. And they're now 3-6 on the season, trying to make their Cinderella story comeback potentially. The Buffalo Bills host the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a different story here because Chiefs have been terrible. Buffalo's still great. Isaiah Pacheco runs from about the 30-yard line, and after playing a bit of bumper cars, he's in the end zone, and the Chiefs shocked the Bills, winning 33-28. And the Bills now fall to 7-3. They were 7-0 at one point. They've lost their last 3 games. Or 2, sorry. It's week 9. I keep forgetting. Anyways, the Commanders versus the Seahawks. And a hurdle over the defender, and he's not stopping. and the Seahawks get blown out. And what a tough play by the receiver, whose name I can't remember, and can't see because I'm blind. But the Commanders win 27-6 in a key game against the Seahawks. The Seahawks had looked pretty bad, surprisingly, behind Sam Darnold. It's kind of a shock. Our next game would be against the Atlanta Falcons. Personally, one of my personal favorite teams to watch in the NFL, even though they tend to most of the time disappoint. But, I still like looking at the team. Other games around the league include the Chargers getting past the Tennessee Titans, Jacksonville getting the best of Las Vegas, also Dallas losing against Arizona, and the Falcons stealing one in Pittsburgh 25-24 after it looked like they were going to lose. Michael Penix had a good game. He was sacked 6 different times in this game, though. So the offensive line was not doing a great job in protecting him, or he was moving a little bit too much. Lazard would not have a touchdown in his first game as a Falcon, but still looked pretty good. A.J. Terrell was pretty key in this game, but if you see the sacks, they stacked up against Michael Penix. One thing about the Falcons is they have a pretty good offense. I think this team has a really good team on paper. They just don't perform like they really should. They are one of the better teams in getting picks, though. I always credit this team having one of the best secondaries in the entire NFL, despite their defense not being totally complete. And as you figured, Jalen Ramsey ended up winning Defensive Player of the Week. I would have given it to Kalijah Kancey, but when you get 3 interceptions, who's really going to tell you no? Bijan Robinson, outside of the early stages of the year, he hasn't really been all that big for this team. They don't really give him the ball as much as they realistically should. He has 1 touchdown since week 4, which is kind of upsetting. We see, look at the secondary, Jesse Bates, A.J. Terrell, who we talked about. This defense in total, Caden Ellis, Divine Diablo, David Onyemata, as well as Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr., 2 young bucks on this squad. When you talk about this team, Kyle Pitts is a big conversation, which he's a player that should have been better than what he has been so far, and I just wish he would play a lot better or be more of a commodity for this team, but he surprisingly isn't. This team is going to without Caleb McGray and Caden Ellis in this outing, surprisingly or not. And we actually had a breakout. If you saw earlier, we had a breakout chance for Jonathan Taylor. And the goal for him is to get 3 total touchdowns, and he will unlock his X Factor trait. I know I probably went through that as faster than I realistically should have. But I don't know. This is a longer episode than I know. It's a longer episode than it should be. So I kind of want to get to these things a little bit quicker. So apologies for that. But we have an X Factor opportunity for Jonathan Taylor. And keep in mind, we don't have an X Factor player on this team. As we get started for week number 10, we're in Berlin, baby, by the way. Let's not forget. International game between the Colts and the Atlanta Falcons. As this will be returned to about the 25-30 yard line. Daniel Jones has looked clean so far, ignoring that last game, which he didn't look great in. So we'll have to clean that up. And first play is to Jonathan Taylor, as he'll get about an even 10 yards, maybe about 11. Hopefully Dan Jones will look a lot cleaner in this matchup, which will be a little bit harder against this secondary, which I just credit is one of the best secondaries in the entire NFL. Daniel Jones to throw. He's taken down for a loss of about 6 yards. Didn't take a sack in the last game. He will here. It's now 2nd and 16 up the middle. Finds Jonathan Taylor, who will get 15 of those yards back. A yard away from the first down is Taylor. Will have to fight, but he won't get it, as the Colts look to move the chains. 2nd and 6. Jones to throw. A lot of light on the right side, but he'll call his own number, use his legs, and he'll run out of bounds. Keep the drive alive. That's what you do when you're quarterbacking. Jones to the middle. That is incomplete. Michael Pittman had it there. That's likely a touchdown inside double coverage. And then the following play, or not really following play, but tries to get it to Josh Downs. Can't make the catch. So Sanchez will have to kick the field goal. Sorry, it's Spencer Schrader. I don't know why I keep mixing him and Roberto Sanchez up. But he makes the kick, so we're up 3-0 to start the game off. It's not the Falcons with their chance to go on offense. And this is a pretty decent return. Runs it outside. And he gets to the 45-yard line. And the Falcons start off with some great field position as Michael Penix makes his way to the field. He's been solid, over 60% on his completion percentage, and a 10-7 touchdown interception ratio is not the worst in the world when you're Michael Penix. His first play, he'll find Drake London up the middle. Gotta watch out for him. He's been on a path in his career to be one of the better receivers in the NFL. Hand off to Robinson, and it'll be a loss of yardage as JT, I'm going to keep calling him that until I figure out how to say his name consistently, takes him down. But on the following play, he's wide open underneath. It's his own coverage, and it's a first down as the Falcons make their way inside the 10-yard line, inside the red zone. I don't know how you leave him that wide open. Colts with the pressure, and there goes JT with the sack. And then it's 3rd and goal as they don't do much on 2nd, and another time where the Colts just pilled up pressure on Michael Penix. Incomplete pass, and the Falcons will make the field goal, the field goal to tie this game up at the very least. Outside handoff to Jonathan Taylor, and he will get 8 yards. We know what his goal is. He has to get 3 touchdowns to get his X factor. Throw it to him again. He will bounce it outside. Wide open greenery for another first down. And then we'll hand it off to him on 2nd. And he's down at the 34-yard line. It may feel like we're force feeding him the ball. We kind of are, as we go back to him again on the screenplay. And he's down at the 17, about the 17-yard line for another first down. As Jonathan Taylor is marching his way downfield, we'll give the ball to him again up the middle. And he fights all the way to the 1. And now it's crunch time, but 3rd and goal is an incomplete pass with pressure in Jones's face, and we won't score a touchdown there, or will we? Going for it on 4th and goal. You can't just give up 6 like that. Handoff to Taylor, and he's stuffed at the end zone by James Pierce Jr. And the Colts would end up getting nothing on that drive. Despite Jonathan Taylor doing all he can to even get the Colts down here, it's not enough. So the Falcons will get the ball with under a minute left inside their own 1. The Falcons, or the Colts, at the very least, left them with pretty bad field position as we head into the 2nd quarter on a 3-3 ball game. Michael Penix to throw, pressure, and he is sacked again. And it is JT. It's gonna be pretty uncomfortable calling him JT. Tui Mulo with the sack, his 2nd of the game. The Falcons just trying to get out of a jam and just run the football. But the Colts still get really good field position because of the situation the Falcons were in. Deep throw into the end zone, and it is overthrown from Michael Penix, Michael Pittman. I'm gonna mix their names up a lot. But that likely is a touchdown. 3rd and 10, and Warren has to make a tough catch. AJ Terrell behind him overplayed him, and it results in a first down for the Colts as they keep the drive moving. Like I said, if Jones makes that throw a little bit more accurate, that's a touchdown and a dot to Michael Pittman. I'm going to mix their names up. But the Colts will go down on 4th down anyways, as they just try to get some room to make it easier to kick a 42-yard field goal for Spencer Schrader. He does make the kick. It's now 6-3 in Berlin, baby. I'm gonna keep saying that because it's fun to say. But a nice pass to the right side for Darnell Mooney, the former Bear. It's now 2nd and 8. Left side finds Kyle Pitts, who moves the chains. He gets the first down. 1st and 10. Hand off to Robinson, and gets 10+ yards on the run up the gut. A new set of downs as a screenplay for Bijan Robinson doesn't work, as Zaire Franklin leads the NFL in tackles and shows exactly why. 3rd and 7 now for Penix, throws it straight to Zaire Franklin, who was hawking the entire middle of the field. His second pick of the NFL, or of the season. And Colts offense comes back on the field, strike on the left side to Adonai Mitchell. That's a great pass in coverage by Daniel Jones. That'll allow Bijan, I'm gonna mix names up, Jonathan Taylor to run it on the right side. He's got 1,000 yards on the season now thanks to that. He's gonna keep it pushing. Jones with nothing but running room. He'll lose his legs in the end zone. And the Colts will score the first touchdown of the game pretty late. Play action. The middle of the field was wide open for Daniel Jones. His first rushing touchdown of the season. It is now 13-3 with a little over 2 minutes left. Michael Penix is going to use his legs. He's going to show off his best Daniel Jones impression as he reached a 2-minute warning. 2nd and 2. Penix trying to buy time. And he'll just run the ball again to the 49-yard line for another first down. They're going to try to hurry things up. It's 2nd and 1. And Penix on the run finds his target up the middle. And that's Allen Lazard, the newly acquired Falcon that they got at the trade deadline, who gets the huge play and a great tackle on the right side there. If that tackle's not made, that's likely a touchdown, as Penix pressured and sacked for the 3rd time today. It is now 3rd and goal. Under 40 seconds to go. Penix is sacked again by Samson Ebukam, the 4th time he sacked today, forcing the Falcons to have to kick a field goal from Younghae Koo. The kick is good, but there's laundry on the field, and it's from the Colts for roughing the kicker on Cameron Bynum. So now the Falcons will get a new set of downs. It's 2nd and goal, and up the middle is a touchdown for Darnell Mooney. And that penalty ultimately cost the the Colts 6 points as opposed to 3, 7 with the included extra point. As Daniel Jones makes a nice play on the right side. That's a nice catch, by the way, for a first down. 2nd and 10. Falcons trying to make Colts trying to make a play. Hail Mary attempt is no good, and at halftime, the Falcons trail 13-10. Which they can thank Cameron Bynum for that, because he likes causing penalties and hitting kickers, because that's just what we like doing in the NFL. That reached the halftime point. There's actually only one game that's been played, because remember, we're in Berlin, so these games happened a lot earlier than others. The Raiders and the Broncos went head-to-head on Thursday night. How often you see these guys play on Thursday or Monday? Often, as Ashton Jeanty jumps over a defender and the Raiders get past the Broncos, and it's a fun race here in the AFC West when you're not dealing with the Chiefs. The Broncos and Raiders are close. That's the only game we see through week 10. And this game has been kind of a mix of both offense and defense. The Falcons' offense hasn't really gotten going. Michael Penix has already been sacked 4 times. Then he got sacked 6 times last week. So he's been taking a beating these last 2 weeks. As Bijan Robinson will run it up the gut for a first down. And then they'll play fake to him, and he's hit from behind for another sack. That's sack number 5, 3rd and 12. And how about another one? Tui Malau, I'm going to say his name wrong, gets him for the 3rd time today. We avoid a roughing the kicker penalty again. That's 6 sacks on Michael Penix. Good Lord, he's got to be in pain. I'm surprised he isn't sitting. Well, he's sitting now. I wouldn't be shocked if the Falcons don't sit him out for the rest of the game. There's a nice throw to Josh Downs. And the Colts are going to play a little bit of hurry up. Keep the Falcons on their toes. Hand it off to Jonathan Taylor on the outside. He'll round the corner and get to the 34-yard line. He's got 100 yards on the ground today. He's been a big piece in this pass game. Doesn't have a touchdown yet, which we kind of need him to have. DJ Giddens will get inside the 5-yard line. He can make some pretty good plays when, he can. Throwing it to Jonathan Taylor on the play action fake. And there goes his first touchdown of the game. As we lead by 10, he needs 3. Remember, Robinson tries to round the corner. If that block is made, if he can just hold it, that's potentially a touchdown for Bijan Robinson. The Falcons get back in this one. It's still 20-10, pressure on Penix, and he'll have to get rid of it, avoiding his 7th sack of the day and 13th in the last 2 weeks. That's crazy to think about. Wide open up the gut for a first down. That's Kyle Pitts. I want to see him a bit more involved in these games. Personally, as someone who wants to see Kyle Pitts do a lot better. Yes, I lived in Atlanta, but I still do like the Falcons. They can't get the conversion on 3rd and 3, so they'll have to kick a field goal for about like 50 yards deep. The kick is up and good, and they'll turn this one into a 1-possession game. So we're still in the 3rd quarter. Jones on the right side finds Mitchell, who shakes off a defender and is down at the 50. How about Adonai Mitchell stepping up in the loss of Alec Pierce? Love to see it. Following play is a strike to Michael Pittman on the left side on the comeback route. And Daniel Jones is looking all kinds of fired up in these plays. Jones on the run. It is incomplete. Could have been picked off. Risky throw by A.J. Terrell. And Anthony Orgy. There's another screen play. Sorry, I know I'm calling these a lot. But Jonathan Taylor makes his way in the first down territory. Then we give it straight to him. And down at the 4-yard line. And the Falcons have had no real answer for Jonathan Taylor today. And now a toss play on the right side. And he's free to run into the end zone. And that's touchdown number 2 for him today. And 8 on the ground. And we're now up 27-13. Not a lot of time for the Falcons. Still plenty of time to get 2 touchdowns, though. I mean, you got like 12 minutes. So, you still need to get some momentum. Bijan Robinson would really know where to go for a gain of about 1 yard. The Falcons got to do it quick. They can afford to waste some clock. Wide up on the right side is London as Zaire Franklin misses the tackle. And the Falcons get a little bit more than they probably realistically should have. As they'll fake the handoff to Robinson. Penix with a lot of room to go. He'll be taken down at the 6-yard line. Colts are expecting Bijan Robinson to get it. He does on the next play. And it's actually a negative gain. He lost 2, despite him initially looking like he got about 4. Penix to throw. Nice job to put it in the air for Allen Lazard, who is in the end zone. His first touchdown as a Falcon. As the Falcons cut into this deficit, now trailing by 7. 2nd and 3, tosses it to Jonathan Taylor on the left side for a really good first down. He's still doing great. Still haven't found a way to stop him. Pass to the right that is incomplete, batted away, forcing a 3rd and 12 for the Indianapolis Colts. Pressure in his face. He's taken down. Incomplete pass. And now Sanchez will have to punt the ball away, giving the Falcons an opportunity to tie this game up. It is a touchback. Can Penix complete the comeback? Play fakes to Bijan Robinson. Ends up finding him anyways in the cluster of white jerseys for a first down. 5 minutes left to go. They'll kick it out to the right side. That is complete with extra help from the blocker. 4:40 left. Robinson guns it outside. Probably should have just went down at first. It's a loss of 7. And he's actually shaken up on the field, favoring seemingly his leg. And he's limping. And hopefully he is okay. And the Falcons have to bring in Tyler Algier to take his spot. They go play fake. You think they're running it on the first play? No, but it doesn't matter because they don't need to. Drake London inside the 15, down at the 11. Inside the hole of the Colts defense. They're running a cover 2, and that leaves the middle of the field wide open. Falcons looking to tie this ball game up, and it's Drake London who does just that. It's now 27-26. Extra point is going to be good. And the Falcons have successfully tied this game up. With 3 minutes left, Colts offense on the field, 2nd and 12, has to try to throw it. Incomplete, meant for Taylor. Initially, he was my target, but he got stuck in the offensive lineman, so we weren't really able to get it to him really all that well. So 3rd and 12 now for the Indianapolis Colts. Listen, editing is hard. It happens, all right? The 3rd and 12. Jones to throw up the middle. Does find his target for 10, but he is short. And the Colts will have to go for it on 4th and 2. Risky here. You're not in Falcons territory. And maybe the Colts just trying to get the defense to jump, potentially. Unless, no, it's reaching 10 seconds, and it is going to be a flag on the Colts, which will back them up 5 yards. So now they'll punt it. Too risky to try to go for it here. A lot of running room for the return man, but nowhere for him to go. It's down at the 26. And the Falcons can win this game potentially with the field goal. Penix with pressure, runs out the pocket. He's been doing a lot better dealing with it in the second half. They do manage to get the first down. Penix runs again. It's a planned run for him, and he fumbles the football, scooped up by Travarius Ward. And I don't know what the Falcons were doing. They played empty formation. It was a design run for Penix, and Zaire Franklin just tore the ball out of his hands. So the Colts offense back on the field. They just need to get in the field goal position, and that basically will do it to Adonai Mitchell at the 23-yard line. They're just trying to get a little closer to Jonathan Taylor, who gets the yard. Falcons will use their second timeout. 3rd and 1. The Colts will go with that jet sweep, and that's a loss of 3. Anthony Orgy makes the play. Smarter than the run to keep the clock moving. And they'll kick a field goal. It's not a long one for Spencer Schrader. And the kick is good. Colts up by 3, leaving the Falcons with 30 seconds left on the clock. We'll see if they can make this comeback. They'll check it down to Tyler Algier, but you can't afford these kind of plays with no timeouts. The 3rd and inches. They throw it to Pitts. It's on the right side. Zaire Franklin tackles him in bounds, and the game is over. Bad clock management by Michael Penix, and the Falcons will lose 30-27. They fall to 4-5. The Colts, 3rd straight victory. They jump to 4-6, hoping to turn their season around, and they've done just that so far. Daniel Jones so far is perfect since playing with the Colts. Well, not counting the game against the Chargers, but since he started, he's been perfect. Jonathan Taylor, unfortunately, does not get his 3 touchdowns in this game. He only had 2. So, unfortunately for him, he will not get his X Factor. How I want to do these whole X Factor things is if the player doesn't complete their goal, as long as they complete a goal that is very similar to that, like for example, if Jonathan Taylor was to get 300 yards of total offense and 2 touchdowns, I would give it to him anyways. But if he were to get 3 touchdowns and say like he only ran for 50 yards, I probably wouldn't give it to him there just because he wasn't really deeply involved in the game. Which is why I kind of forced fed him the ball, because I wanted him to be deeply involved and it be fair. Like if he only got 3 touchdowns off of 3 yards, which is just 1-yard gains, I wouldn't have given it to him at all. That doesn't make sense to me. So for you to get your X Factor or Superstar or Stardom or whatever, you kind of have to earn it. You can't just be given it. Either way, we do take this game. Michael Penix was sacked 6 times, 3 times by Tui Malau. I'm hoping that's the right way to say it because it sounds right. Which is 12 in the last 2 games against us and the Patriots. He didn't have a fun time. He did turn things around in the second half, though. He played a lot better in the second half of the game. And Tui Malau will get an upgrade. Mulau, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, will get an upgrade. He's now at an 80 plus. And we are going to revisit the conversation with Jonathan Taylor. He did not complete his X Factor. He needed 3 touchdowns. He only got 2. So unfortunately, he will not get his X Factor, but he will still get a boost to his ratings because he still did play an amazing game. And now I reached the bye week. And if you're wondering why I'm not showing a weekly recap for this one, is because it's showing the games for our bye week as opposed to week 10. So there are no weekly recaps, unfortunately, for this. But we still have the scores. Baltimore got the best of Minnesota. New Orleans beat Carolina. Houston loses to Jacksonville. Seattle, as we know, got destroyed by the Cardinals. San Francisco does lose a pretty close one to the Rams. And yeah, those are all the games around the league. Now, at this point in the year, we do get our second mock draft. I kind of hate how the mock drafts are in Madden. We don't get our third one until the season is done and the rest of the way through, which picks don't really change from that point. The Steelers currently the Titans, currently have the number 1 spot. They're looking to get Devin Agnew. The mock draft has us selecting Juwan Stewart at quarterback at number 12, which we'll get into the prospects and the draft conversation in this episode because this week is our bye week. Jonathan Taylor did win AFC Defensive Player of the Week, and I thought JT would have won it for the defense, but it went to Travis Hunter, who had 2 picks and an interception. That's about as fair as you can get. But we'll talk about some of the prospects. Jordan Acosta potentially being a top 3 pick at left tackle makes a lot of sense. I think he's one of the better offensive linemen in the draft. Tony Pearman is probably my favorite player here as far as guys I want to get, but he is a top 5 commodity, and right now we're not in the top 5. Despite my whole conversation about the quarterback not being huge for us, Juwan Stewart is still someone that I am looking at to potentially pick up in the draft. Potentially maybe in the first or second round if we do feel like we need a quarterback. Although we do have Ryan Leonard in the back. If Jordan Acosta does not fall to our pick, assuming we don't pick supremely late, Benjamin Hargrove is a guy I could see being his replacement, quote unquote. Looking at other edge rushers, I do like guys like Ben Gonzalez, Jamie Sheldon. I think is solid. Jamie Sheldon's tackle numbers are not the best, so we will keep an eye on him. Ben Gonzalez, I do like his splits, especially his A to C tackling numbers. Levi Abbott, I like his injury numbers. I mean, the injury, you don't want your guys to get injured a lot, especially in Madden because injuries are pretty weird. Jimmy Fernandez, he's got an A tackle rating, but injuries not so much. His play rec is pretty solid. Play rec I think is very important, even though it may not seem like it. Lane Bingham is probably one of my personal favorites, although his injury rating is not great. Play rec and tackling and everything else looks pretty solid on paper for him potentially falling to the second round, maybe even the third round. Cornerback isn't something we talk too much about considering the crew we have, but Josh Fry is someone I am looking at. We will look at more corners, of course. And Curtis Wheeler is someone I'm looking at as well. Obviously, as we get closer to the end of the year, the conversation regarding draft picks will be, or prospects will be, a lot bigger. The will position, Colby Oliver right now is my go-to guy at the will position because that position is probably one of our weaker positions on this team. If not him, then maybe Matthew Nielsen could be a nice steal late in the draft, maybe around the 5th to 6th draft pick. And how about Nick Stanford? Of course, we're speeding through these a lot. The last player I look at is Christopher Weathers at the Sam position. I think it's left linebacker. I don't know for sure. But now that we're in the bye, we get a chance to look and see how our team is doing at the halfway point. Anthony Richardson got benched after week 7 after his pretty poor performance. He was pretty average. Daniel Jones has looked a lot better, ignoring that 4-interception game. Jonathan Taylor has been great for us. The receiving core has been pretty solid, I say. We've been doing a nice job splitting the touches between all our guys and the touchdowns, to say the least. Tyler Warren is not number one. Pittman surprisingly is number two, despite it feeling like he doesn't get the ball a whole lot. But Josh Downs still is our number one target. Adonai Mitchell's getting a lot more touches now with Alec Pierce gone, which we'll have to see. Zaire Franklin leads the league in tackles, but he's been doing a great job even with tackles for a loss, showing that it's not just that. Chad Muma's doing a great job too, as our sack numbers are crazy split. We don't really have a solid leader in that area. It is Latu who currently leads the sack numbers for us, followed by Tui Mulau. I'm gonna keep saying his name wrong, so apologies. Spencer Schrader at this point has not missed a field goal kick yet, which honestly is a surprise. Don't let this be commentator's curse, even though we're not in game. But that's all we look at for the bye week, because there's not much to cover outside of the things we talked about. Now the weekly recap. Like I said, this is the same weekly recap from what we saw after week 10, or what I saw after week 10, so we'll show it here. As the Chargers ended up getting by the Jacksonville Jaguars 13-10. Chargers a key win there and a big loss for Jacksonville. The Buffalo Bills next host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as Buffalo has looked pretty bad these last few games, and they will continue as they lose to Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers 34-33. And Jonathan Allen and the Buffalo Bills have dropped every game since they started 7-0 so far. And finally, the Arizona Cardinals hosting the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers look like one of the best teams in the NFL. How long will that last, we don't know, but Brock Purdy on the left side finds his target. They usually show the same replays, I don't know why, but I mean, be glad there's a halftime report and a weekly recap as the 49ers do best the Arizona Cardinals. 49ers maintain their lead in the NFC West. And I'll do it for the weekly recap around the NFL for week number 11. Like I said, we didn't have one for week 10 because the game just didn't show them. The Patriots also got by the Jets. Seattle got blown away by the Rams. And a low-scoring affair between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. How often do you see this kind of game in Madden? Patrick Mahomes looked disappointing. Probably the worst I've ever seen him play in a Madden game at all. He was sacked 4 times, and the Broncos defense just put a complete number on him and the entire Chiefs team. They only put up 3 points. But now look at who's the best teams and who's the worst. Eagles, Ravens, 49ers, and Chargers all currently have 8 wins. And the Bills, like I mentioned, have dropped their last 3 games. The Bengals are still in this race. The Broncos are still up there as well. Some of the worst teams include teams like, not really the Jaguars because they are currently winning the division. The Bucs, surprisingly, are not playing that well. They've got us, the Falcons, Saints, the Steelers, Browns, and Cowboys have been terrible so far. The Titans have been the worst team in the NFL. The Chiefs have been surprisingly poor this year, which is kind of crazy. The Rams have the highest scoring offense. We are up there. The Packers have the best scoring defense, but of course we have the worst scoring offense because their defense just been terrible. Division by division, the Ravens currently lead the AFC North. Jaguars currently hold the AFC South. The Patriots are edging their way closer in the AFC East. It's going to get interesting if the Bills keep dropping games. The biggest surprise is the AFC West. The Chiefs are the worst team in this division. How often do you hear that happen? The Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos all fighting for playoff positioning. It's going to get fun. For the NFC North is the NFC North. No clear number one, and the Bears are the only team that's the worst team there. The NFC South is always going to be close. It still is. The Bucs hold that league, but not really by a huge margin. The Saints, Panthers, and Falcons are right there. The Eagles currently hold a big lead over basically everyone but the Commanders. The Commanders are still in it, and they're going to keep it fun. The NFC West is really going to be down to the 49ers and the Rams, but the Cardinals could make some noise. The Seahawks surprisingly are the worst team in this bunch. And that'll do it for this episode of the Indianapolis Colts franchise. I know this was a long one, I apologize in advance. They usually aren't this long, and this won't really be the norm. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. I know I always say this, but I do plan on being more consistent with these uploads. But like I said, like and subscribe if you are new. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.